Hey guys, I'm Sai and welcome to A.C.E Podcast Nation. On the channel, we've got episodes, content, series, podcasts on all sorts of stuff, from MMA and boxing, football, wrestling, TV and films, conspiracy theories, music, much, much more, including a couple of exclusive, should I say, series in my story, as well as unscripted and uncensored with a variety of guests, from fighters to actors to bands to wrestlers, footballers, you name it, we got it all. You could check them all out at youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation, as well as the audio versions at all the usual podcasting platforms and apps. Today is Keeping It Real with Mr. Andrew Thompson. We're talking wrestling. We're going to talk a bit of Money in the Bank. We're going to do a little bit of a weekly wrestling roundup and some other bits and pieces, because it's been a very, very busy week in the wrestling world. It feels like a lot longer than a week since we last spoke. But of course, joining me as usual is Post Wrestling's writer and interviewer, and the man behind youtube.com/Andrew Thompson interviews, custom URL, Mr. Andrew Thompson. How are you, my friend?
What's going on, Si? Glad to be back, man, for another week. It's been a long week, man. A lot of news, a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, it's been, it feels like longer than a week because so much has happened that it feels like it's been like a couple of weeks, or it's madness. So what I thought we would do is, obviously, a large portion of the show we'll talk about Money in the Bank. I can't say I particularly enjoyed that show. It was bits of it which were okay, but some of it I did not enjoy.
Hey, real quick, does it look weird that I'm looking like directly at you, or should I look at myself? I'm trying to make sure.
Okay. No, it's okay. Yeah, just as you are is cool. The yeah, like there was bits of Money in the Bank which I enjoyed, but there was also bits which I did not enjoy. But I thought, seeing as the SmackDown's obviously film goes out on TV like after we do the podcast normally, we just talk about the go home show of SmackDown first, which wasn't massively anything to write home about. You had like Mandy and Sonya had a match which Sonya won via pinfall. I think I'm ready for them to go their separate ways. I'm not. I think I said last week, I feel like this feud has kind of halted a lot without the crowds. I feel like they would have added a lot to it. I feel like Sonya would have been a really, she'd have been booed like mad, and Otis obviously would have been getting good reactions, and probably Mandy as well. Would you like them to keep this feud going, or would you like to see Sonya get a bit of a push as a heel? And obviously, we'll talk about what Otis is going to be doing a bit later. But
I think you should keep the feud going. I don't think it's like really touched the bases that is needed to touch yet. I mean, you've gotten around to the Otis thing. I think it's time to focus in on Mandy and Sonya and see what they create and what they can do. I mean, like, I don't really think they've had their chance to have like a real like big singles match yet that can be like the primary focus instead of just being like a part of the show. I feel like it's still like a lot more ways to go as far as their feud goes. And I mean, it's not like you can have to end it like right away. Like, they can always be like intertwined with one another. I think that's how it should play out, like throughout the majority of their careers while they're on the same brand. They should always be like intertwined in some way, like they always connected in some, like, I'm not saying they got to wrestle each other every single night, but they should at least be like, the reason I lost this match or the reason I lost that match is because this person and that person. I feel like they'll be like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a way. Like, always like they always gonna have something to do with each other. Like, you can't get away from it.
Yeah, I do like that that sort of aspect of it. I think that's a really good idea. I wouldn't be against them now building, do like a build of a few weeks, and then build to a match and have a main event, a SmackDown, and have them like give them 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and let them put on like a proper match because I think they're both very capable of, if you give them the time, of telling a story in the ring and really keeping the audience invested in that. Because I like the way both the ring work. We've been saying, I think probably since we started doing the podcast together about Sonia, we really would like to see her get a push. She's very, very talented. It's difficult to understand why they haven't quite got behind her, because obviously she's been quite vocal in terms of saying that she'd like to do a storyline around like LGBT and stuff like that. And obviously the WWE has always wanted to do, something with that demographic in mind. I think they might have been ready to pull the trigger previously, but then they obviously went with the Liv Morgan and Lana thing, and then binned it after a week. And I think that may have kind of put that to bed certainly for the time being. But even without that side of it, Sonya Deville is so talented, and I feel for her a bit, because I feel like if it wasn't for Ronda Rousey, she probably would have had a push that year when Ronda came in and had her run. And then again, like they did, they went with the Liv Morgan and the Lana thing, and didn't she have a match cancelled at WrestleMania the one year? Sonya, was it Sonya?
Yeah,
And Sonya
she was supposed to
Oscar.
wrestle Oscar at WrestleMania 34, but they made the switch and decided to do Charlotte. Well, Charlotte was already in the match, but they decided to put the title on. Yeah, the title on her.
Yeah, and I think so. Like when you look at it, she's been quite unlucky in that Ronda came in, she took that kind of MMA gimmick, which Sonya came in with, and she's obviously got that background, and she's very, very good. I really like her strikes. Her strikes are so good. Look, they just look great. And then she's been a bit unlucky. But yeah, in terms of SmackDown, then you had like the New Day and the Lucha House Party versus the Forgotten Sons and the Miz and Morrison, which wasn't anything really other than the kind of TV match. The Forgotten Sons already doing more for me on the main roster than they did in their entire run in NXT, I got to say. I did not enjoy their work in NXT. Not that well, that's it. It's not like they had these like long-standing storylines, is it? What else do we have? There was the Sonya, Sasha and Bailey did a tag match with Tamina and Lacey Evans. What are they doing with Sasha and Bailey?
I feel like they're just stalling until they get fans back in the arena so they can do the match.
Yeah,
I honestly would be doing the exact same thing, just stalling until I don't feel like they want to waste that match. Like I think Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, they had a real good match at Money in the Bank with no fans, but I feel like people like the match is going to be 10 times more enjoyable with Sasha Banks and Bailey and fans of theirs, just because they know their history of everything going on. So I mean, I don't blame them for that. Like they stalling because they want to see what happens. Like if things will probably clear up by August. So I mean, and August still is a while away. You got 3-4 months. Like you got time to see if things blow over and like if they'll be allowed to have fans or whatever they decide to hold SummerSlam this year. I don't think it's gonna be in Boston, but we're gonna see.
Yeah, I think it's one of those really. Like it does seem like they've put the brakes on it a bit, because at WrestleMania it looked like they had set it up ready to go with when Bailey watched Sasha get pinned after she saved her, or should I say, and then Sasha came back and kind of helped her win the match. So they set it up there, and then they kind of seem to have put the brakes on it a bit. But I agree. There's no reason to rush it if they prefer to do it with fans. No, it will be better with fans, particularly the initial turn. I think without fans, it's difficult to gauge, what's working and what's not, and maybe doing the turn in front of fans.
Like, do you remember when at Revolution, the AEW Revolution, when Hangman teased like he was about to count, like he was about to buckshot Lariat Omega. Imagine if they would have tried to do that without fans. Like the fans,
Yeah.
they made that mo because as soon as he put the title down and started grabbing on the rope, all you heard was the gas from the crowd. Everybody was like, "Oh, here you go." But like, just imagine if they would have did that with no, it wouldn't have been the same. Like people would have caught it, but it just wouldn't have been that same type of feel or moment if it was no fan. Like that's how I'm imagining it's probably going to be if they do try to do Sasha Banks versus Bayley. And then at that, like, and you look at the positive of it, I mean, like increases Bailey's title run. So I mean, it's more days added to her. I think she's been a real good champion. I honestly think, like, I remember, what was it? Yeah, coming out of this year's WrestleMania. Last year's WrestleMania. Yeah, Bayley probably had like one of the best stretches like of her main roster run, the Raw SmackDown run, because she like I felt like the compare because Sasha Banks was gone at the time, and I feel like the comparisons between her and Sasha kind of stopped, and it just let people focus solely on Bayley, and then she like shined and had like a stretch of like real good matches, and then when Sasha came back, they paired her right back up with Sasha. So I mean, I think Bayley's doing some real good stuff right now, and then it just increases her reign. And then, but like I'm not like really a fan of like the flip flopping the titles. So I mean, just keep the title on her. You could do Sasha versus Bayley in front of fans. Like if you can't do it by August, then just put the title on somebody else.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you say, it's not like by keeping the title on Bayley and keeping Bayley and Sasha together that they're kind of treading water or they're boring or it's not, and like they are one of the, as a duo, are one of the better things on SmackDown, where at the time when SmackDown is struggling a little bit in my eyes, they're one of the good things on it. Another person who I think is doing quite well at the moment is Tamina, and I got to say, up until this run, I was not a big fan of her work. She'd never really kind of got me invested in anything, but I quite enjoying her run since she's come back into WrestleMania, where they were building her up as the monster in the multi-woman match. And like we discussed last week about her social media videos as well, they were quite entertaining. So I'd be interested. Do you think, I saw someone say on social media yesterday, I think it was, that they think that Tamina's going to turn on Lacey Evans and not necessarily align with Sasha and Bayley as such, but just be like out on her own as like a heel stroke tweener, and they might
she
do
already
it.
that?
Well, she is kind of, isn't she? But she seems to be loosely associated with Lacey Evans. They keep helping her.
I think that's more so of a thing like Lacey is trying to associate herself with Tamina.
Yeah.
Like associating, like I think it's just a one way type of relationship. I think Tamina's already a bad girl. I don't think she's I think she's just portrayed as a baby face because Sasha Banks and Bayley are like the popular heels. So people like view Tamina as a baby. She's not a baby face. She's a bad guy. So I mean, I'm thinking Tamina, she's done some of the best work of her career in this empty arena stuff. And I feel like with her, it probably just eases nerves. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to like please the people that's in front of you and 20,000 people, 15 how many thousand people looking at you live in the arena, it just eases the pressure, just knowing that nobody's there except for you. Probably a couple camera people, probably like 10 people, 15 people out there max. And then you got the boss watching in the back. So I'm pretty sure that's like, it's just less stressful for her. So that's why she's been, doing as well as she has been.
Yes. And I think also she's been quite unlucky with injuries, whereby whenever she has got a bit of a momentum, it's ended up maybe that she's got injured or she's ended up being out for a while. And then you lose that momentum and you've got to start again and you've got a bit of ring rust, and it can be like a never ending kind of thing. And I mean, there was like a Bray and a Braun promo, which I quite enjoyed the promo actually, but as we'll get to in a minute, I did not enjoy their match.
It ain't hitting for me, bro. This feud is not doing it for me. Like I'm not in it at all. I'm not in it at all. It's like, I think it's just not clicking for me.
Yeah, the most frustrating thing is I can see the story they're trying to tell, and and I can see the story I think that they're trying to tell, but I think that they're not doing a great job of telling it. I think they're not making Braun look fantastic, and they're hurting Bray. Like, after repairing him so much after the Goldberg debacle, I feel like they've gone backwards again and hurt him. And just a little interesting tidbit, which I was
real quick, I was about to say, like, stop putting him in title matches. Like, this is what kills it. Like, you keep putting him in these title matches. Like, yes, I'm doing that. Like, stop putting the regular Bray Wyatt in the title matches. Stop putting the Fiend in these title matches. Like, just keep everything like what it is. Like, no title matches, nothing like that. Just regular singles matches, or do the Fly Five Funhouse stuff every once in a while. I feel like the title matches is what takes people out of these feuds, because I feel like he was doing so well. Like, what was it, like only a month or two into his comeback before he challenged Seth Rollins for the Universal title?
Yeah.
Like, I think people were very excited and they wanted to see him win. But see, when they went to Hell in a Cell and he lost, it was like, well, did that go? And then it was on and off, on and off, on and off. Like, it's
and I feel like it's like Vince saw the merch sales and the social media buzz, and he just couldn't help himself. So he was like, "Oh, he's got to be in the title picture. Got to be in the title picture because he's selling the most merch, and he's over in the crowds, and he's so everyone's talking about it on social media." And then it's like, just be patient and wait, because they could have been, if they'd never given him the title and they just kept doing what they were doing, and then
so much more could have got done.
Well,
bro.
If they had just kept doing what they were doing, then done the Firefly Funhouse match with Cena the way they did it because of the coronavirus and stuff, if that had been on the back of like a year-long run of the Firefly Funhouse stuff and just tearing people up and no title run and no Goldberg, then this year you could build towards like a WrestleMania match for the title maybe next year. But they just can't help themselves. They just rush it, and I don't know. It's frustrating. But a little tidbit, which I was thinking about earlier. So obviously, Rambling Rabbit, he often dies, doesn't he, in the Firefly Funhouse, and then he comes back the week after or the next episode. And I'd never clicked, but do you think the reason that he does that is because when Bray Wyatt was the perceived like the rambling Bray Wyatt, who used to do those kind of long promos, which people got fed up of. Not me, by the way, but people got fed up of them. Then he would get a push, and then he would lose, and you'd be like, oh, well, there you are, Bray Wyatt's lost the big match again. Then they'd build him back up, and then he would lose. So, like, do you think that's the equivalent of him rambling Rabbit is kind of like Bray Wyatt losing and then coming back and being pushed again and then being killed? That was my thought anyway. But,
you went deep into that, didn't you?
Yeah, man. I've been watching too many of these videos from like all those YouTubers who break every single like Firefly Funhouse down and pick up all the Easter eggs and that. But there we go. Right. Just before we talk Money in the Bank, then, tell me about your interview with. You had a big interview drop the last couple of days with Mr. Nick Aldis. How was that experience?
Yeah, man. It was great. I think it.
I am still here, but you've just frozen up.
Everything good?
Yeah, man. Yep.
I did?
Yeah, you froze up a little bit, but then you're back. You're still there.
Sai froze up. Don't let him change the narrative. Don't let him change the narrative. Trying to blame me. But yeah, man, Nick's a cool dude. Like, that was a real good interview. I think a lot of people tuned into it or like got a chance to read the written version on postwrestling.com. I had a good time, man. Like, Nick's is real, like, I'm telling you, he's like chill as hell. And, we just had a good conversation. We got into a lot of stuff, like some of like the key points he mentioned. Like, I know I saw a few websites pick up the article about Rusev, him saying that he wanted Rusev in the NWA. Another one that he talked about was He said that he was supposed to defend the NWA World's Heavyweight title at G1 Supercard last year, but Ring of Honor pulled the match, and he believes that it is, but like it was out of like some doubt that maybe the NWA title match could like maybe outshine some of the other world title matches on the card. Me personally, I don't think that's true because I think the I don't think the Okada Jay White match. I think the Okada Jay White match is real anticipated, and then I think the Marty Scurll, Jay Lethal, and Matt Taven match. I think a lot of people were anticipating Marty Scurll to win that, so it had a lot of hype going into it. But like going back to the All In, he did kind of have a point in saying that Cody versus the Aldis match did steal the show. Like it really did. Out of all the great matches that were on that card, it did steal the show. And like he talked about, the summer supercard event that Ring of Honor did in Toronto last year, and he was supposed to defend the title at that show, but they got that the match got pulled again. And he talked about this one time, this incident that he had at a Ring of Honor show in the lead up to him and Cody's match at All In. He was like, one of the employees backstage had pointed him in the direction of a dead microphone, and he didn't find out until he got to the ring. And it was a whole lot. But yeah, he told some real good stories. Talked about Samoa Joe, Crimson's role in the NWA. As everybody knows, Crimson, I think he was a TNA World Tag Team Champion. But yeah, he talked about a lot. It was a real good interview, and you could check out the video. Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel. Custom URL.
Yeah,
Custom URL. And then you can check out the written version over at postwrestling.com. Great content over there. Good folks.
Indeed. And I'll put the link in the description for Andrew's YouTube channel as usual. And so we had Money in the Bank. What were your overall just kind of quick thoughts of the show?
6.9 out of 10. I'll give it a 6.9 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but like hindsight being 2020, I really like that they from the reports that I've seen, like Asuka wasn't aware that she was becoming Raw Women's Champion. So that's like a boost for me because like that was just genuine emotion.
Yeah, man.
Probably really didn't know that she was going to be Raw Women's Champion. She thought she was just winning the Money in the Bank. So like the circumstances with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins bringing the child into the world, congratulations to them. That's big. Yes. Pretty sure they happy. I like the one thing I'll never understand is like people like having like just wild opinions about that. I'm like, bro, that is a grown ass woman. Like she can do what she wants. If she wants to have a kid, she can have a kid. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I don't see like the issue at all. Like you made all the money. She's possibly had a great run over the past 2 years. Literally probably made all the money like that she possibly could. Peak of her career, probably on the back end, like as far not career, but the back end of this run that she's had probably was coming up soon, probably by the summer. So I mean, like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then she's still getting paid. Like people acting like she's not gonna get paid, or she's not gonna, like she's still one of the highest paid people in the company. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be one of the highest merch sellers in the company. And then you can always look to whenever she comes back, 2022, 2020, late 2021, whatever she decides.
Oh, the pop.
They are going to go crazy. They are going to go crazy for Becky Lynch. And then I think this is also a way, like if WWE wants to go this route, you can refresh Seth Rollins, keep him on TV, send him home with Becky, and let them just let them, you know what I'm saying? Let them do what they do. Let them raise their child, and then send them off, and then, you bring them back when people forget about them. Yeah. And then, like I think that's the smart thing to do if we talking business. But as far as like the people having like these crazy comments, bro, like leave them people alone, bro. Like leave them people alone.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before about people on social media kind of like, I feel like they just get a bit secure behind their screens and they just say stuff they would never dream of saying out loud to people in real life. And I saw some crazy, just real nasty like stuff this week.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like I knew I wasn't the only one. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was like, I knew I wasn't the only one who's seen some like this crazy ass stuff that people say. Like I'm talking about like specifically the Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. I'm like, like I'm like I can get like all the the other stuff that people got gripe with Seth Rollins for, like him, you know what I'm saying? Like we've already went through that before. Like as far as like me and you discussing it about like his tweets and you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
all that other stuff. But like, come on now, like you know what I'm saying? Like relax. With specifically with this situation, not a situation, but they bringing a child into the world right now. Like I think people could chill out on the all the
Yeah.
extracurricular stuff. Like, come on now.
I did see like there was a couple of people like they were giving it or how she's so irresponsible because they started off saying she's irresponsible because she wrestled at WrestleMania knowing she was pregnant, and then they kind of finished it by saying that she was irresponsible for letting Vince McMahon and the WWE down by getting pregnant while she's in the middle of this massive run.
Let them
So,
down.
and she can't put someone over and drop the title. I was like, shut the fuck
She
up.
don't owe them people a goddamn thing. First
No.
of all, bro, like I said earlier, as a grown ass woman, she's going to
Yeah.
do what she wants to do. She has made a ton of money. She will be fine. She will continue to get paid, and whenever she does come back, I'm pretty sure she will make even more money than this current run. She has had a great run. I feel like Becky Lynch's run as Raw Women's Champion was going to come to an end eventually this year before the summer was over. It was bound to happen, and I'm just glad that she didn't get well. Now you can always do the rematch 2 years from now. Oscar never beat her.
Yeah.
You can
What a
always run.
match. That just
Yeah,
set perfectly, isn't it?
Oscar never beat her for the title. You can always run that back. You got a top program right there. And then also in the benefit of this, Oscar's got the Raw Women's Championship now, and like that,
Yeah.
and like that just shows you like that they can rely on Oscar. They're like, okay, Becky's out, so who we have next? Oscar, and that just shows you like they believe in Oscar. With that, we can maybe get a Kyrie Sane versus Oscar match because Kyrie's jealous. We can always do that, or Oscar, or not even Kyrie's jealous. You can just do Oscar, just dump it to the curb because we got the Iconic back now. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they can fill that role that the Kabuki Warriors had, and you can send Kyrie off on her own, and or you can do the match. But I mean, it's a lot of positives coming out of this, and the main one being that Becky Lynch and Seth gonna be parents. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, definitely. Big congratulations to them. I think the only way I saw Becky holding on to the title were for the rest of the year was if they got word that Ronda was going to be around at WrestleMania time, that I think they would have kept the title on Becky then to do like
Definitely.
to do a rematch.
It was gonna be in Cali next year too, so that was
Yeah, so they could have given it she's held it for 2 years. She's been unbeaten. No one can beat her. And then Ronda comes back and you
her
kind
home
of go
state.
that, you go with that route. But, and that's another match, which when Becky, whenever if she does come back, they've got the Ronda and the Oscar matches, two huge matches set up,
Ready
just
made.
waiting. And, if they were to look after Shayna Baszler over the next couple of years and she had a long title run, you could do that.
What would you do with Seth Rollins? Would you keep him on TV?
So I would keep him on TV for the now. I
Okay.
found it interesting that they had him shake Drew's hand at the end of his match, because it didn't seem to fit with how they had booked him previous, for the last few weeks, months. And I think part of that was because of this announcement coming on the Monday. I think they maybe wanted to soften people's opinions on him a little. If he's going to go home with her, like if they're going to go home or they're going to go to Ireland maybe to see Becky's family when the travel restrictions are lifted or anything like that, and they are going to send him home, I would like to see either Buddy Murphy I'd like to see their stable turn on Seth and either Buddy Murphy take it over and give him a real push with his own stable, or have someone else kind of take it over. I had a really interesting idea, but I don't think anyone else will like it. Is like if at any point they ever want to turn Aleister Black heel, like I feel like stealing Seth Rollins' Messiah stable of disciples could be a real kind of clever, interesting way to go. But I don't think they're going to turn Aleister Black heel anytime soon, and nor should they. But I thought that would be quite an interesting little twist. But you could put Andrade with Selena maybe at the head of a stable with, like, if they kicked Austin Theory to the curb and recruited Buddy Murphy, and because obviously the Authors of Pain are off TV with one of them injured as well.
That NXT Cruiserweight title tournament that they're doing right now.
Yeah. I'd love to see Buddy Murphy get a real good push. So if they do take Seth off TV, I want to see Buddy Murphy
beat him,
turn on him, beat him, but not just beat him. I want to see him beat him clean and then injure him after the match with like a chair over the neck or whatever, something in which they can write him off TV for a year or however long he's going to go, come back at the Royal Rumble when Buddy Murphy's in the Rumble and do a huge match between the two then at Mania. Wicked. I'd be happy with that. And equally, if they wanted to maybe bring some people up to Raw because they know Seth's going and Becky's obviously going, if you're going to bring someone, whether it's a Riddle or an Adam Cole or anyone, you could have if they was to put, for instance, I don't think they will, if you were going to bring Adam Cole up this year at some point, a good way to debut them would be to have the Undisputed Era come up and take Seth Rollins out, beat him clean on Raw or beat him clean at a pay-per-view quickly and then injure him after the match. They're set. Adam Cole's set as your new kind of charismatic heel main eventer. You've made someone, or a Matt Riddle. You could have Riddle come in and submit him quickly, solidified as a main eventer, get Seth Rollins off to. I do. I think he should already be on the main roster, but whoever, whoever, you know what I mean. On Raw or SmackDown. But like whoever, I wouldn't be against. What I want to see him do is with Seth Rollins is when he undoubtedly, whenever he goes, which he will at some point, is I want them to make either Buddy Murphy or somebody else who's not already, not a Randy Orton or a Daniel Bryan or Bray Wyatt or whoever, not someone like that. I want to see someone new, solidified as an upper card stroke mid-main event talent, whether that's Buddy Murphy, someone from NXT, or someone else. I want to see someone new get the benefit of taking Seth Rollins out as well as beating him clean to set up a match when he comes back. Because he'll be in the Rumble. So to me, I'd like to see him get off TV as soon as possible. Not in I want Seth Rollins off TV, but I feel like the longer he's away between now and the Royal Rumble, the better the reaction will be for him. I also think that Seth Rollins, the guy, deserves a break because he's worked himself into the ground the last couple of years.
Definitely.
Carried that company on his back.
Workhorse, man. He was like, I know a lot of people don't like Seth. Like I really haven't been like a big fan of like his social media stuff. Like especially
misguided tweets.
Especially after the Will Ospreay thing, like comparing like money and all that type of stuff, and then essentially defending WWE for the match releases and stuff. Like I understand the business side of it, like that's understandable, but like just like. And I mean, like you can't really blame him for it either, because like, what else is he supposed to do? He's supposed to carry that flag.
You got to control the company lands, isn't it?
I don't even think he was. I just think that they expect him to, as a leader, quote unquote, to take initiative and be that person. But like it just came off like horribly. So I feel like if you just take him off TV and like people see the stuff that he's been posting on social media as of late. You know what I'm saying? Like keeping it, just being real honest about, how happy he is that he's about to be a dad and stuff like that. Bro, you let that build up over time, and like what they're expecting the baby to be due in December. Then you have him come back a month later. Like people are going to go nuts. They are going to miss Seth Rollins, and you don't got to do the heel stuff no more. You don't have to do the baby face stuff no more. You just let him be a dude. Look, I got a kid now, so I'm coming to fight for my kid. That's it, and I'm out. And then you can just keep him off. Do like how you did. Do like how you did him with Edge for a little bit. Like you bring him back to the Rumble. If you don't have anything immediate for him, send them back home, and then around WrestleMania time next year, bring them back.
Yeah.
Let them miss February, bring them back early March, and then begin his WrestleMania feud, whoever you want them to feud with. And it don't have to be nothing crazy. I'm pretty sure people that just want to see him back in the ring.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure he's itching like hell to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
So,
I the other thing I like, when you think of it, like the most over, I feel like Seth, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns were in the WWE. I'm not talking about John Moxley now, but in the WWE, the most over they've been with the fans is when they were babyface badasses who weren't pandering to kind of like the cheesy babyface WWE stuff like they tried to have Roman doing. They weren't over the top heels. They were just guys who wanted to fight and were cool. So they appealed to everyone. And I feel like both Seth and Roman a little bit more recently, but I feel like they've never let them be those kind of characters since they had that original run with the Shield after they turned on Kane and Randy Orton and stuff. And then when they split them all off, Dean Ambrose was really goofy. Seth Rollins was like the corporate whiny heel, and Roman Reigns was the pandering babyface who everyone hated. I'd like to see Seth go back to that kind of like just guy who likes to fight and be just kind of like a cool dude and not push it too far heel and too far babyface. But I just feel like sometimes WWE gets in their own way with these guys and trying to make them the face of the company or the top heel, like Baron Corbin. So talented, so capable. He is capable of being the best heel in the business. But I feel like the thing which hurts him is the booking of his character and the speech used and the verbatim used in his promos and the King Corbin stuff. I can't.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I actually think Baron Corbin is doing some of the best stuff in his career right now, and I think the King Corbin thing has really enhanced him as a heel. Because I mean, before that, people really they disliked him, but I feel like adding the King thing has really enhanced that dislikement, and I think that's like the whole point. Like I think especially in this era, bro, like we pay too much attention in who's like the cool heel. Like, oh, we're supposed to like, you know, we're gonna boo him, but we secretly like him type thing. Like, no, Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin is doing it. I think he's doing it right, honestly.
So, if you'd said that to me, let's like say a month or two ago, I'd agreed with you. My problem is now I just want him off my screen, like not in a heel type way. It's like, for me personally, it's like that Roman Reigns thing. Like when it was in the peak of Roman Reigns, when everybody hated him, like I couldn't even watch his segments because I was so frustrated. Like I was watching this guy who was so talented. He had a great look. He had everything possible to do great things. And the promos they were giving him, the booking, the storylines and everything, it was just making me completely, I just couldn't watch his stuff. And I'm getting there with Baron Corbin.
I don't think it's that deep, man. Like you could like comparing him to like peak Roman. I think that's a little,
I just mean for me personally, like in terms of when I see him now, like when I see Baron Corbin on this cutting these promos now, I struggle to watch it. Whereas maybe a month or two ago, I was really enjoying his work. I really like his ring work. His ring work I think is so underrated. I like him and Eric Rowan are two of my favorite kind of big guys who change it up a lot. And I don't think they get enough credit for that, for changing the way they work, for doing different moves, trying different things. His Baron Corbin's finisher and even his like second finisher are like two of the most protected moves in wrestling everywhere, because no one's ever kicked out of the the end of days, and he even won with the other one the other day, didn't he? The what's
Six.
Deep Six, yeah. So don't get me wrong, like it's not a thing where I dislike Baron Corbin. I like Baron Corbin. I like his work. I think he can cut really good promos, and I actually think he's really funny. But it's the wording and the promos they're giving him is making me switch off. So I would like to see them tweak. I would like them just like to switch it up a bit. Don't boo me.
Boo you on your own podcast, man.
So, all right, let's talk some Money in the Bank. I'm not gonna spend like too long on every little bits and pieces because people will have watched there.
We saw.
We'll just breeze through. So was it the pre-show? Was Jeff Hardy Cesaro? No, that was the first one of the main card, wasn't it? What was the pre-show match? I haven't got that in my notes. It was Gulak and.
No, that was WrestleMania.
Who was it? There was definitely a pre-show match. I'll find out now. But yeah, Jeff Hardy and Cesaro. Jeff Hardy won. What did you think of that?
Good, solid match. I think they did well. They keep lying to us about Jeff Hardy's theme song. That's all I care about. Stop lying to us. Bring back No More. They keep saying he got it. I don't think they really have the rights to it. They're
trying to desperately buy him, and the people who own it keep raising their price every time.
Because there's no way that they're being this difficult about this thing. Like there's no way they have the rights. They can't have the rights to it.
I just think they've changed their mind. I just think it's as simple as that. They just changed their mind. And do you know what frustrates me about like guys like Jeff Hardy? Is like Jeff Hardy, they're doing all these documentaries about like the documentary about his addiction and all his issues outside the ring. And it's like, man, when he comes back, everyone's happy to see him. He's an interesting, charismatic dude. He's got a good look. He looks different to everyone else. But they just want him to play the hits. And it's like, change it up a little bit. Just, give him a new finisher. Give him, have him work a different style. He doesn't have to, always do the same stuff all the time. But I do wish they would just change it up a little bit. I'm struggling to find the pre-show match. I'm sure it was amazing, but I can't
just skip past it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was amazing. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. Jeff Hardy wins, and I can't find it. I don't know what there was a pre-show match, there wasn't there?
We skip it, bro. Just skip it.
It's good. For fatal 4-way match, I was disappointed with the result. However, I thought it was pretty good. It was New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E versus Forgotten Sons, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake versus The Miz and Morrison and Lucha House Party, Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik.
I always thought Grand Metalik could have been like real solid heel. Like I really do think he has that. Like it's just the mask thing. Like his masks are cool as hell, and I feel like I remember I think Corey Graves said it during the show. He was like he looked like Juventud Guerrero a little bit, like when he had his hair out.
Yeah.
Like, it looked cool as hell. I really feel like Graham and the League could be like a real solid heel if they put something behind him. But I noticed like they WWE has a hard time of like fully backing someone that doesn't speak like, I guess, at least decent English. I don't know if Metalik can. I'm not saying that like I doubt that he can. I mean, like I just don't know if I never heard him speak English before. So I mean, I think he could be real solid with them, like as like a mid carder, like in a continental US title. I definitely think he could do that like with ease, and he got the in-ring work to back it up. The finish of the match, I'm always happy New Day with that they got the titles. Like I'm always be with that. Like always be with New Day. I mean, you could have went the Forgotten Sons route, but I don't really give a damn about the Forgotten Sons, and I have my reasons why, and I never will care about them as a team. Might be. So that is what it is. I'm interested to see what happens next. Like, cause like I mean, now we got the new wild card rule, so we might get some some new teams coming in from Raw to come challenge from SmackDown, and vice versa. So that's always something just to freshen up the challenges a little bit. But I definitely think I'll give New Day until July, because I feel like the Forgotten Assholes are gonna beat them for the tag titles. That's something to be particularly happy about. So just know I'm gonna come on here and rant about how Jackson Riker endorsed the Trump supporter on Twitter. I mean, I have the tweet, so I'm gonna show it on screen. So Jackson Riker could kiss my ass. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Forgotten Sons, my ass.
So completely separate to everything you just said, I actually thought that the Forgotten Sons should have won this match.
And
If they were going to end the podcast. No, I think if they were ever going to do anything with them,
it should have been money.
Should have been them, shouldn't it? It should have been them. From a purely business point of view, like now was the time to put the titles on them. But is what it is. They didn't. They're dead in the water, so you may as well fire them now. No.
But like, edit that part out. They're gonna grill you on Twitter. They hear that.
No, I just do you think they should have done more with, like, take Rey Mysterio out of the picture, okay, and ignore the fact that he's now back. When you look at some of the masked luchadors that they have had in the last 8 to 10 years, the talent is undeniable, is unbelievable. So to say that they've not managed to get like a real Latin star over to the level they had Rey, sorry, yeah, to Rey over I think it's ridiculous, and I think really says a lot about their booking.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you just on the part about Rey, because like you trying to compare Rey Mysterio's star power to like how WWE's booking like an Andrade, who's supposed to be next up as far as the next big Latin superstar for WWE. Like Rey Mysterio is just on a different level. He always has. Like you look at the stuff that he's done, but he's been wrestling since he was like 15 years old. Like, and he was really popular in WCW, had a hell of a career in Mexico. Like he's wrestled in New Japan a few times. Like wrestled at All In, didn't he? He was in that main event. Like Rey Mysterio has done so much like throughout his career, and he's a legend. And the reason people respect him so much, obviously is because of what he's done throughout his career. And he's just seems like a real nice dude overall. And it seems like everybody just has like just immense amount of respect for him. Like I don't think it's fair to like compare. I mean, I do get what you said. I do think that they could build up that next Latin star. Like I really do think that they could, like, easily. But like I just feel like I don't know. Like I do think Andrade is that next person to take that flag. I really do. I think he's next up for sure. Damn sure ain't Cain Velasquez, unfortunately. They got rid of him with they got that Brock match, and they was like, all right, buddy.
Later.
Right, they got what they wanted. But
so I should just quickly clarify. When I say like I wasn't necessarily comparing those people to Rey Mysterio, but for a long while WWE was looking for someone to fill the hole in that kind of demographic of fans, and they wanted like a Latin star. And my point is they had guys who they could have done more with, like a Gran Metalik, for instance, and they just didn't, for whatever reason. We all know Vince struggles to push or to book certain ethnicities. It's remarkable that Asuka's done as well as she's done, when you only have to look at how badly they've dealt with Shinsuke Nakamura. You only have to look at how badly they really book African-American talent in the long term. It's, Vince is just an old, out-of-touch man. And I just think that really they could have done more to build the Latin stars in their company. And I know they've got this stable now where you've got Andrade, who should, by all accounts, already be a bona fide main eventer. How long's he been on Raw and SmackDown? Probably over a year, isn't it?
Who?
It's been a while, isn't it?
I said who?
Andrade. He's been up for a while, hasn't he?
When Andrade? No, he came up after he lost the NXT Championship, I think, to Aleister Black at TakeOver New Orleans. I think that's when he came up. Because I remember he was in the Royal Rumble, the 2018 Royal Rumble as NXT champion, and he lost the title to Aleister Black at TakeOver New Orleans. And I think he came up not too long after that.
Yeah, 2018 he came up.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been there. He's been over a year that he's been up on the Raw and SmackDown. I feel like I'm not saying he should have had the main title by now, but he should be like a bona fide main eventer. And they spent so much time not doing anything with him that he's behind where he should be. They do seem to be getting.
Do you remember last Royal Rumble, the 2019, when people were saying that he was one of they were putting him in the conversation, like as far as the top 4 people. I remember it was him, Seth Rollins, and it was a couple other guys that people had selected. They was like, oh, I think Andrade should. I think he could have won the Royal Rumble, and people would have been,
I think happy
about it. He was on SmackDown. Who was the champion going? Oh, it was Daniel Bryan. Well, no, never mind. Nope. Because we had the greatest wrestling moment in history.
But at the time, we didn't know that, did we? So
that's very true. That is very true.
They had put Andrade as the Royal Rumble winner to face Daniel Bryan, people would have been excited. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a banger of a match.
I'm gonna just say this one more time, Sal, before we move on to the next topic. The greatest moment in history, wrestling history.
I'm really sorry you broke up there.
So I was like,
so
see, this is why I don't do video, because his wittiness goes up.
Yeah, we all forgot what you looked like. We all forgot what you looked like. So this week I took my my MMA series. It's now live. So we're doing a couple of shows a week with the MMA ones because the UFC's decided in all their wisdom to run 2 shows a week. So we're doing a live show on a Friday. We did it Thursday this week, but next week we're doing it Friday, talking about the midweek UFC show, which was real cool. I had some guests on my MMA shows this week. So on the Tuesday show, which was the pre-recorded one, I had UFC superstar Brett Johns as a special guest analyst. And then yesterday on the live show, we had UFC coach and head coach at Shaw MMA, Richard Shaw, who's also the father of UFC superstar and hot prospect Jack Tank Shaw. And next Friday on the live show, the special guest analyst alongside me as the host. I also have my regular co-host, former Cage Warriors world champion, UK MMA legend, Mr. Danny Batten. We also have UFC hot prospect Jack Tank Shaw coming on the show to be our special guest. And we also have a mystery guest joining us on Tuesday for the MMA show, talking about the UFC at the weekend. Got some big things, big guests.
Legend.
And someone sent me a really, really nice email last week, and they said they were just saying like, "Oh, we really like the channel. We came across it by accident, but we really, really like it. We watch it all your shows, catching up on them." And they said, "What we really like about it is that whatever you talk about, whatever series it is or whatever show it is you have an expert talking about whatever it is." So, like on some of the mental health shows, we've had doctors and nurses and stuff like that. With football show, we have. Obviously, Andy Campbell is a former professional Premier League footballer. We have regular guests. We've got a former Manchester United defender joining us on the live show on Monday. We've had fighters, boxers, wrestlers, whatever we are talking about. We have experts, just like now. We're talking about wrestling. So we have a wrestling writer, interviewer, journalist, YouTuber. He's a man of many talents.
Almost at 200 too, man.
That
I'm like 43 out.
What's that from 200?
Yeah.
Let's get you to 200, bro. Let's get you to 200. I love it. Okay. So New Day won. Just for a second, I thought Lucha House Party were going to win, but it was not to be.
That would have been a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Honestly. I wouldn't have been mad at that. That'd have been a nice little,
The one thing I want from WWE is I want them to change it up. I want to see new tag teams on, particularly SmackDown. I want to see new.
No, I was going to say it's like I mentioned, we got the new the new wild card thing that they got going on.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that.
So yeah, we got that. So I mean, it might freshen up the scene a little bit, but I mean, it's kind of difficult to do that because do they have all the? I think the majority of WWE talent stay in Florida anyway. So I mean, like they have access to most of the people, and then like honestly, I would start using some. What teams are in NXT? Like my mind's a blur right now. Like as far as like
so you got in NXT, so you got Undisputed Era, Imperium.
Kyle O'Reilly can't get into the country right now.
Yeah, so. Where is Kyle O'Reilly then? All right, okay. And then you've got Imperium. You've got Riddle and Pete Dunne.
I mean, people who can like come over like right now. Dunne is in the UK, so he can't.
Okay, so you could have Imperium come up. You could have
Imperium, tag team champions.
Yeah, you could have Undisputed Era come up, I suppose, without Kyle O'Reilly for now, and then just add him to the mix when you're able to.
I can't even think of other tag teams.
No, I mean either, and that's you've got like Mustache Mountain and people like that, but they're obviously unable to come over at the moment. And I just want to see not just the tag teams. I want to see them build new names and faces in the title pictures for each division. And what really has annoyed me with this wild card, whatever it's called this time around, is they've tried really hard to build some different new guys on Raw, whether it's Austin Theory or Garza or Andrade or whoever, Drew. They've trying to build new guys, and now they've gone back to this wild card thing. So you're going to see Charlotte on every single show. You're going to I want to see new people. And I just wish sometimes that they would, give us something different. Give us some like proper, fresh faces in the different divisions. I'm trying to find a list of tag teams in NXT, but I can't. Obviously, the Revival's gone. I can't find like a comprehensive list, so you have to bear with me. But right, next up was R-Truth versus Bobby Lashley. The one thing to come good out of all of this is MVP's back, and I think we're going to get MVP and Bobby Lashley together, judging by Raw as well.
Yeah, I think MVP he gonna lead Lashley to that title shot next month at Backlash. I definitely think it's gonna be Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE title. I definitely think that's gonna happen. I think MVP is gonna be the reason why he gets that title shot.
Do you think we're gonna see the Beatdown Clan reforming in WWE?
Bring it back.
Serious question.
I'm leaning into my mic, by the way. Anybody that's looking at it while I keep putting my head down, I was trying to lean into my mic. I look stupid as hell when I was looking up. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it back. I mean, of course, they're not gonna call it the Beatdown Clan, but it's good to see MVP being utilized and him doing something semi-important. So, and I think he's gonna lead Bobby Lashley to the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, to the WWE title match. So, and I think him and Drew could put on a real solid match. I would keep it like 15 minutes, and then, just let them go out there and just beat the hell out of each other.
So tag teams, you've got obviously you've got Dijakovic and Keith Lee loosely as a tag team. loosely. They split. They split up DIY, obviously. Yeah, they haven't got that many tag teams. When you look at it,
Yeah, they don't.
they've got quite a few in the NXT UK, but there's no there's not like an unlimited list of, like, when you look at the women's division from Raw to SmackDown to NXT to NXT UK, the women that they've got signed is unbelievable. It's real, like, quality. Fandango and what's the other one? Oh, what's his partner called?
Breeze.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze. Yeah, of course. Those two, and I can't see any more. You could make a tag team. I'll make you a tag team now. Okay, ready? We're going to put Timothy Thatcher and Killian Cross. There you go. How's about that for a tag team?
Ooh.
What about Velveteen Dream and Dexter Loomis? There you go. That's a tag team for you. What about Zach Gibson and his tag team partner, who I can never remember his name?
James Drake.
That's the one. Obviously, and yeah, when I'm looking at this list and we can't find any tag teams, that's why they've had, before all the coronavirus, they had the grizzled young vets and they had Mustache Mountain coming over and working all these shows, because they haven't actually got that many tag teams. They need to sign some tag teams. Oh yeah, by the way, Vince McMahon saying that no superstar will be punished if they choose to not come to work in the current pandemic. Sami Zayn called their bluff and didn't come to work because he doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, they stripped him of the title.
And they stripped that mofo.
I kind of think that's some BS right there. Like, because I mean, Andrade failed the drug test, the wellness strip him, and he was gone for like 2 months, and they never stripped him. Like, so you telling me Sami Zayn can't slide? I think that's some BS, right? I don't ever think they really like Sami Zayn to begin with.
No, I don't either. He's too. He's got, his morals are too good, and he's too vocal about those morals as well.
I think from day one. Remember when he was supposed to face John Cena and he tore his rotator cuff? I think they were like,
Yeah, that's it now.
Whatever, that's it. But I do agree. Like, in all seriousness, I do agree with what you were saying. I think they always, like, his viewpoints and how he's so against what some of the people in charge at WWE are with, like, as far as the presidential stuff. Like, Sammy's like an outright Democrat. Like, he's like no hiding about that, like, at all. And he's like very, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with stuff when they were doing like the Saudi Arabia shows, Sammy, like, he would, during the shows, like during the live shows, he would tweet about his Sammy for Syria campaign and stuff like that. And I think that always kind of rubbed them the wrong way. So I feel like when they had the opportunity, they, got his ass out of there. And now we got a tournament for the Intercontinental Championship. And I think the right decision is to just give Sheamus the belt. Give Sheamus the belt.
No.
Give him the belt. Give him the belt. Let him complete his collection.
Oh God, no. God,
who would you put the title on? Let me hear this so I can tell you, oh God, no.
They announced the participants yet?
No, we don't know.
I'd like to see someone new, someone different, someone fresh. Depending on who the hacker is going to be. For instance, if it's going to be Mustafa Ali revealed as the hacker, then I would have Mustafa Ali win it.
You want to really piss people off? Put it on King Corbin. Put it on Corbin. Put the Intercontinental title on Corbin and make people mad. But honestly, I think I would put the title on Sheamus. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, if they had Rusev, if they hadn't messed him about, they could have put it on Rusev. Kevin Owens would have been a good shout, but he's in Canada.
And he's on Raw. Oh, they got the wild card rule now. So.
I wouldn't be against putting it on Gaza or even Austin Theory.
I'll go. I think Austin Theory's about to go back to NXT, honestly.
Do you? See, I wouldn't mind being against them.
I don't think he was ever meant to be on the main roster. I mean, on Raw or SmackDown, I always felt like he was just like a replacement. Like he did really well, but I think he's about to go back there. I think they're probably going to do the match with him and Garza because they've been like having like a little back and forth. So I think they're going to do the match. Garza's going to beat him, send him back to NXT.
Do you know what they should do then? Is the week after he gets sent back to Raw and he sent back to NXT, is they should do like announce just a tag match between Garza and Andrade versus Rey Mysterio and Humberto, just like a run of the mill tag match on Raw, and then they should have the heat be put on Andrade as they beat down Rey for like 10 minutes. Rey, every time he goes to get a tag, they should like stop him. And then when he finally gets to go to get the hot tag to Humberto, he jumps down off the apron and turns. He aligns with his cousin, turns heel, finally gets some personality, and has and then we'll have Andrade versus Rey for the United States title, and Garza and Humberto can be a tag team. Give me that shit. I would love that. I'm not a fan of Humberto.
Cause I stopped being a fan. They changed the theme song.
Yeah, I was gonna say you love that theme song.
They messed it up, man. They messed it up for everybody. Every time somebody got something good going for them, man, they always switch it. Like I'm like, God, what you switch the theme song for?
They just ruin everything.
They changed Angel Garza's theme song for no reason. I'm like, oh my goodness, man. What are y'all doing? Why do y'all do this? Like it's always like anything that's like not really like super noticeable that people like they always change it. I'm like, change it for what? Well, what was wrong with the Dale guys? What was wrong with Angel Garza's theme being a regular speed that it was? They slowed it down.
Well, they changed them, and they changed the club's theme, didn't they? To that god awful. Like quite recently, I quite liked the Gallows and Anderson's theme. It was a bit of a rip off of the Bullet Club theme, but only a little bit. And then they changed it to like that really like heavy like rock song. I was like, why would you change it? Why would you ruin it? Ruin everything. Right.
Oh no, don't let people say, you got that song downloaded.
You've got that Humberto. Is that your ringtone? Is that his original song? Is that your ringtone on your phone?
How long? Every day. Delegas. I don't even know what that means. But let's Delegas to the next match on the card.
Indeed. It was Bayley versus Tamina with Sasha Banks in a corner. Obviously, Bayley took the title. Tamina leaped off the top rope. Bayley gets her feet up. Tamina hits the Bayley with a super kick and a Samoan drop. And then Sasha Banks briefly got into the ring, and Tamina chased her away until Bayley rolled her up for the sneaky 3 count. What did you think of this match?
I mean, not the super recap because we already got into it earlier when we broke down the Sasha Banks Bayley thing, and we talked about Tamina as well. Now she's done the arena shows, but it was a good match, and I think they just stalling the building until they can get Sasha and Bayley in front of the crowd and do the big match. So,
should they give Tamina a title run before she retires?
How do people know she's about to? Where did that come from?
I don't know. Do you think who would you rather see get? If Vinnie Mac phoned you and said, Andrew, I'm going to put the title on
the voice.
Tamina. I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm British. Welsh. I'm not British. I'm Welsh. You can't. And he said, Andrew, I'm putting the title on Tamina or Nia Jax. Who should I put it on? Which one would you say?
What title?
The top title.
No, I mean like The Raw Women's title, the SmackDown.
They're both on Raw, aren't they? So, oh no, they're on. Tamina's on SmackDown. I know, Raw title to say.
I mean,
or whoever, like the Raw title on Nia and the SmackDown title on Tamina.
Oh, okay. Put the title on. Well, I mean, Oscar has the title right now, so I mean, like, what exactly are you trying to ask? Like,
well, no, I just want to know which one if you had to pick one, which one would you rather see get a title run out of the two?
Oh, probably Nia.
Okay, that's the wrong answer, but okay. No, Tamina's really grown on me in this last month, and
yes, me too.
I'd quite like to see her get like a little run as a title hold, like as a heel killer. But there we go. Maybe that's the wrong choice of words. But
the
like
wrong
a heel like monster to
Guess what? You're wrong.
Yeah, you're about to be wrong, because we're going to talk about this match of the year candidate between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt for the Universal title.
This was trash.
Tell me why this was so good.
This was trash.
Start with the positives. Why was this good?
Bro, I am not into this feud at all. Like we talked about this earlier. Like it's
not I said start with the positives. Why? What was good about this?
You want to know the positive of this match when the ref counted. Oh my goodness! Yeah, so, that was a positive of this match. Like we talked about. We already talked about it earlier. Like
yeah,
it's not interesting to me at all. This feud, not Wyatt.
But they could tell such a good story between these two.
I mean, you can't do it when you got the two dudes who were a part of the history not there anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like
but you could do something to do with Sister Abigail. You could do.
I mean, you could, but it's like when you look at the history of Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, a great portion of that has to do with Brody Lee and Eric Rowan. Like it's like can't tell that full story without the two dudes who were with them throughout the whole time. You can talk about Sister Abigail, but what is Sister Abigail? Nobody knows what that is, and it's been like a thing for like the past since Bray Wyatt started, and like nobody knows what it is, and people kind of forgot about it. Like it's like it's like an entity that nobody knows about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think that's like them trying to bring the whole sheep mask and all that stuff, bro. Braun Strowman wore that damn sheep mask one time. I swear he did that sheep mask.
He wore it a few times in promos and stuff, but
that's mainly associated with Eric Rowan. That's what I'm trying to say, the sheep mask thing. Like, and I'm like, I just feel like them trying to tell this backstory, like it's so difficult to do it when you don't have two dudes that were with them the entire time. Like, and then like the in-ring stuff is.
So I feel like if the title wasn't in this feud now and they did this match, I would think, right, I didn't enjoy the match. I really dislike how stupid it's making Bray Wyatt look. However, if the title wasn't in this feud, I would think, right, okay, they're telling a story. The next part of the story is, well, this part of the story is Bray was trying to recruit him, bring him home. He didn't really want to fight him. He just wanted to kind of realign with him. He wanted to bring him home. And now Braun has kind of crossed the line, and the Fiend's going to come and whoop some ass and eat his soul and going to force him. But because the title's involved, I don't feel like they can tell that story. Because if you just have the Fiend come in now and destroy Braun, take the title, you're back to square one with the titles on Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, which we've talked about. And two, you've just made Bray Wyatt look so weak. Why would I ever want to see Bray Wyatt, the Sweater Man, fight again ever? And you've made Braun Strowman look stupid. So I just feel like they've really dropped the ball again with this because they can't get out of their own way and they're trying to overthink it. There's aspects of it I really like. I like the cinematic stuff that they're doing. I thought that this would go into a no contest, and I thought they would do like a video. I think I said to you, didn't I, on the, because I said if it was recorded, they should have Braun be beating up Bray, and then like the Fiend appear on the apron or something to like distract Braun or beat him down or take him under the ring or whatever. And that was your way out, and then you just leave it and you go back to the feud at a later date. But they beat Bray again. Bray looks stupid. Braun looks stupid. And this is your title feud. And
how about we do what WWE should do and move on from this topic because they suck. Well, not Bray. Okay, Bray Wyatt doesn't suck. I just feel like teasing side because I know he's a big Bray Wyatt guy, but Bray Wyatt's the man, But I feel like they should have just kept him away from the title this whole time. He should have never been challenging for the title. Should have never been Universal Champion. This should have never went any way, but just him changing people, and that way you could have kept him undefeated. Like, it worked with Finn Balor. You want to know why? Because Finn Balor went and turned into this like bad guy, and now he's doing some of his best work. And now he gets to stay in Florida or wherever he resides and go to NXT once a week and, just kill it and have good wrestling matches.
Him versus Punishment Martinez, by the way, is going to be awesome.
I can't wait for that, bro. That's going to be a good match.
Let's finish up Money in the Bank and talk about NXT and AEW because they were much better. WWE Championship between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, we talked about this one earlier too. Great match. Like I probably one of the best empty arena matches that WWE has done throughout this whole time. I think it is the best empty arena match they've done this far.
Straight up match, definitely. Yeah,
they killed it, and I'm pretty sure a crowd would have went crazy if they were there to see that in person. I kind of feel bad for Drew McIntyre that he's like been given the flag like now.
Yeah,
like I mean, but it isn't. I'm pretty sure they were gonna go that way anyway. But like it sucks for him. So. But I mean, he's doing a real good job, and I feel like they need to keep giving him opponents that he can put on these good matches with. I feel like he can probably do that with Bobby Lashley. Like, I don't know about. I'm not too sure on the Jinder Mahal thing yet. Like, I don't know about that one, but I feel like you set him up for AJ Styles, maybe at SummerSlam. You do that for sure. Maybe Kevin Owens gets a shot. Probably run Andrade back. I feel like they need to take the U.S. title off Andrade. Like, I feel like it's time. He's just holding on to that thing, and like he getting beat. So I mean,
I'd like to see him take it out. If he take it off him and have him be the SummerSlam match for Drew and really build him up as like take the title off him now, and then just have him go on a winning tear from now until the SummerSlam build, like barely like ever lose at all and just beat some big names. And then finally have him have a number one contenders match with AJ Styles or someone legit and have him beat them clean to face Drew at SummerSlam. I'd like that, I think.
Yep.
Okay, so then we had the Money in the Bank matches, which went together where they had to climb the corporate ladder. Of all the cinematic matches that they've done recently, I felt that this was the weakest. It wasn't terrible, but did you feel I felt for me they lent a little bit too much on comedy.
It was kind of, it had its corny moments. Like, but I think that's why I kind of liked it a little bit because it was kind of corny. But like it was corny moments. But I think I liked it like overall for what it was, and I think it really helped that the pay-per-view was only like 2 hours. So that was like so helpful. So I mean, like I'm we already talked about the Oscar thing. I don't know why I keep saying we already, because I mean we did. That's like the first thing that come to my head. But like I'm glad for Oscar, and I'm kind of interested to see what they're gonna do with Otis.
So I'll talk about Otis in a minute. Oscar, I found it really interesting. She gets in the elevator to start and heads straight up to the top, and I'm sure someone said on Twitter, I think it was, might be on Facebook, but whatever. Someone said on social media that she's like the first person in a Money in the Bank match whereby the first time she climbed the ladder to try and get the briefcase, she hadn't thrown a punch, and it was like 10 minutes into the match or whatever it was, which is kind of interesting because she obviously took a different route. I didn't like the fact that they threw Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio off the building, and Michael Cole could not have give less of a shit. It was like it may as well have been a suplex. Do you know, it was an arm drag. Like, he just didn't care. Nobody cared. It wasn't like this big, huge, oh my God. It was nothing. Nobody sold it. And I just thought, well, that was a waste. Because we all knew it was probably going to happen. So why would you not make it like this big, huge thing? Even like have Baron Corbin shocked that he had done it. You know? He'd like, oh, he could have killed someone. It's like, oh shit, man. No, nothing. Nothing.
I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. I never gave side props on his jokes. That was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Touche, my friend. Touche.
Otis winning Money in the Bank for me. Look, nothing against Otis. I've enjoyed the storyline with Mandy and stuff and all that. He's got over. You cannot fault him. He's really done well. Out of all the people in this Money in the Bank match, he was the one I would like to have seen win it the least. I don't want to see him win the WWE title. However, if they use this to kind of retcon the Money in the Bank rules going forward, whereby you can use it for any title, and he uses it says to his Tucker, I want a tag team title match because he loves him so much, and because he's this like just a genuinely nice guy, then I'm all right. I can get on board with that because I think that opens doors for the future, that you're not just tied into one title. There could be some other opportunities there going forward.
What I think is going to happen is I think Tucker is going to guilt him into giving him the briefcase. And because Otis is such a nice guy, you're going to be like, yeah, taking it. And Tucker's going to cash in. He's going to lose. And then it's going to be
okay.
Like, what the hell? Like, I just gave you the briefcase and you know what I'm saying? You lost. And then Otis is such a nice guy. He's not going to say anything. He's not going to confront him. But it's going to start to break down over the months. Like, and I think you have a nice story to tell. And they don't even have to break up. You can just have Otis. Like, you can just keep doing the heavy machinery, but still have Otis continue to outshine Tucker, and like have Otis continue doing matches on his own, working with Daniel Bryan, like he worked with Daniel Bryan last week in a 6-man. You have him do stuff like that, and just have Otis Tucker like, damn, I done got the Money in the Bank briefcase for him, and he's still outshining me. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, and you just have it like that. I mean, because I think Otis is gonna be on his own eventually anyway. Like, I feel like it's heading that route. Like, because I feel like he's really like becoming a star, and like people are kind of forgetting who Tucker is anyway, and I kind of feel bad for him. But like,
I think Tucker could be quite a good heel though, in the long term. I think
said the same thing about Big Cass when he broke up with Enzo. People expected a lot out of Big Cass,
but he got in his own way though, didn't he? Like, in fairness, like he could have done better if he hadn't been such a dick at the time, and then obviously he had some issues. I don't know. Otis is like a main event singles star. Doesn't really do it for me. Like,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying like,
but you just think he's going to be a singles
he's
wrestler.
Singles wrestler.
Shit, I think
he cash. Maybe Otis does some shit like he cash in to get in the Intercontinental title tournament. Like, that's his cash in, or maybe he cashes in the winner.
Him winning the Intercontinental Championship,
I'm with it.
I would be with that. Yeah.
With it.
I think Mandy's going to turn on him at some point, quite soon. I just don't know who with. I wonder whether.
Wait, real quick. You want to know how funny it would be if Dolph Ziggler won the Intercontinental title tournament and Otis cashed in on him?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That would be real good. Perfect. Real good.
Send everybody happy.
I'd be quite on board for a King Corbin and Mandy Rose duo. I quite like that. or even a Tucker and Mandy Rose.
All right,
duo.
now it's time to move to NXT because side is getting crazy. Let's get to NXT and they this goddamn motorcycle outside. But yeah,
yeah, I just thought I really wanted them to put it on AJ Styles. I gotta be honest. I felt like out of all of them, I felt like, actually, him or Daniel Bryan, because I did feel like I explained to you last week, the Daniel Bryan, the way they've changed Daniel Bryan after the Fiend feud, with him going back to having a coach and like he was when he was in NXT. I kind of like the idea of him having the Money in the Bank briefcase like he did when he won it the first time. So that would have been kind of cool. AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Corbin, Rey Mysterio, all of them great choices. Otis, not so much. I'm glad Oscar won it. As an outside, I wouldn't have minded if like a Shayna or a Dana Brooke, maybe just someone different. I'm all about the fresh faces, mate. All about the fresh faces. I liked some of the callbacks, like the AJ Styles having like PTSD from the Undertaker's brawl, and the brother love coming out of the crapper and stuff like that was kind of funny. I just think they leaned a little too much into the the comedy stuff. But that's where I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. Out of 10, you said 6.9 at the start of the show. Would you stick to that?
7.5.
7.5. Something in there. Something in this review has made you jump up a whole 1.4%.
Yeah. Whole 1.4%. What the hell is
that? That's how much I was giving it. One thumb out of 10. No, I'd say like a 6. 6 I'd give it. Because I'm a mark, and if my favorites don't win, I don't like it. Okay. So before we just talk AEW and NXT to kind of round off the podcast, is there any particular news from the week you would like to address?
I know Pro Wrestling Sheet, they reported that Sting is no longer under contract with WWE. So that is very interesting.
That is interesting, because I assumed that he would be the Boneyard match equivalent at Survivor Series this year.
That'd have been something. But we got Mike Tyson presenting the TNT Championship at Double or Nothing. That's gonna be interesting. I think the obvious thing to do is to have MJF get his ass knocked out. I think that's the only route. Or I mean, you can always go Chris Jericho because they got history. Tyson knocked him out on TV before, so I think you can.
Do you know what they should do? If he knocks out MJF, they should have the camera zoom into him when he's laid on his back, and him be chewing gum like Shawn Michaels did back in the day when Mike Tyson knocked him out after the Steve Austin match. Do you remember that? So when they did the angle after the match where Mike Tyson was the enforcer, wasn't he? And Steve Austin wins. Mike Tyson makes the count. Shawn Michaels gets in his face. He does the angle where he punches him and knocks him out. And then as Shawn Michaels is laid out on the floor like that, star-shaped, completely KO'd, but he's like chewing his chewing gum while he's knocked out, which is really fun. But yeah. Who won the Wednesday Night War this week, my friend?
What do you mean, like in the ratings?
Yeah, well, no, just like for you, which was the better show?
I like AEW more than NXT this week. I just felt like
we disagree today.
I did like AEW more than NXT this week. I just feel like they got like a lot of momentum heading into Double or Nothing. So I think I'm kind of finding that show interesting. But NXT had a real good show this week as well. I enjoyed NXT a lot, and they announced the In Your House takeover show. So that's gonna be cool. If they don't bring the set back, I'm not watching it. So No, I'm joking. I'm gonna watch it anyway, but they need to bring the set back. Don't call it in your house and don't bring the set back. I want the door.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So for me, the last few weeks, I felt like AEW's been the slightly stronger show while I've enjoyed it. Whereas this week, I thought AEW was a little bit. I think there was a little bit too much corny stuff for me. And I don't mind the corny stuff at all. I love the Broken Hardy gimmick. I love like all that sort of stuff. I love the Firefly Funhouse match. I don't mind that stuff. But there was something with AEW this week. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I have done. Whereas then on NXT this week, we had some real good wrestling, some real good angles. Although I was super pissed that they did the Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle split. They did the Timothy Thatcher heel turn.
I love
it. And then did the match the same night. I was like, geez, man, don't rush it.
What I think is gonna happen, I think they're probably gonna run it back and take over in your house. I think they definitely gonna run that match back. Or and I don't know where I was going. I don't know where I was going with that. I had something in my head, but then I forgot.
They're going to fly in Peter Dunne on a private jet.
Hopefully. I love to see Pete Dunne back in the NXT. But
so
yeah, I do think it was both shows are really good. But I do I kind of felt the same way when I first saw it. I was like, damn, they doing the match already. Like the turn just happened. So I mean, and honestly, it really didn't even seem like a turn. It just seemed like Timothy Thatcher just got frustrated with all the Matt Riddle shit. Like he just got tired of it. Like Matt Riddle's too much for Timothy Thatcher, and I felt like that's what it was. So he just got tired of it.
What I liked about it is in the pre-match when Riddle, in the pre-match of the tag team at the start of the show, when Riddle flicked his flip-flops off like he does every week, it's these little details which I love about wrestling. Is he flicked the flip-flop and it hit Timothy Thatcher. So it was just like another thing that was annoying him about him. And I really, really liked those little details. But for me, like if they'd left it, he does the turn, then he attacked him by hitting him with the flat screen when Riddle was doing the promo. And then they built it where you have Thatcher attack him next week and the week after, or you do like in the go home show, they have a brawl, and then they have the match in your house. That would have been incredible. But I feel like, and this match, by the way, was superb. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a really good main event. I could see some people not enjoying it, but I could feel like it was right up my alley. I loved it. Some real good wrestling, some real good stuff. But I would have liked to have just seen them not rush. And also, Timothy Thatcher losing after turning was a bit weird, but is what it is. Do you think Riddle's going for the title? Maybe, and that's why they split him and had him win so quickly.
The NXT title?
Yeah.
I can definitely see that happening, especially since, all the stuff that's going on with Velveteen Dream right now. I feel like he was supposed to win the title, but like he got his own situation going on right now. I wouldn't mind Riddle taking the title off Adam Cole.
No, me neither.
At all. I wouldn't mind it.
So then when you look at it from not from a storyline point of view, but from like a business point of view, they just took the tag titles off him quickly, seemingly out of the blue. They had Timothy Thatcher turn on him, but then blew off or like had the match straight away. So maybe they are going to do, if they did like a little mini tournament or like a number one contenders match over the next couple of weeks and Riddle wins, you have Riddle take the title off Cole in your house, and then you could have Thatcher run it. Then you could run back Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle and do it for the title, maybe. I don't know. RIP Vanguard 1.
Oh, yeah. Beat the hell out of that.
Damn, man.
Vanguard 1. Got him out of there.
See, so I love the Broken Hardy stuff and the Vanguard 1 stuff. I love it all.
You want to know who like really standing out to me in the Sammy Guevara, man. He's
awesome.
That's gonna be that guy in like 3 years. Like Sammy's definitely going to be like one of those
Oh,
main
that
eventers.
bump that Marco Stunt took off Wardlow against the barrier. Whew. He threw that man against the barrier, and it was brutal. What else did I like?
Oh man, you see when Penelope Ford tried to do the poison Rana on Chris bro, I thought Chris Statlander landed on Penelope Ford's neck. I was like, Jesus Christ. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah.
Goodness, that was
Penelope Ford, man, she's got so much potential to be like the next Britt Baker. And what I mean by that is I don't mean like the same as Britt Baker. I mean the kind of the standout, the one who really hits home and becomes like their next to step up sort of thing. I do think their women's division though is getting better. It's still a step behind what I think it needs to be, bar a couple of people. Like even when I'm really bad with names. What's the champion's name again? Sorry, Nyla. When Shida did a promo and she hits her with the kendo stick, like the kendo stick shot was a bit weak and it's like I don't know. There's something just not quite clicking. Britt Baker, amazing. Penelope Ford getting better. Chris Statlander, not sure about that. Shida, amazing, but I'm not sure if she's clicking or not overall. Nyla Rose improved loads. I still wonder about what's the British girl which they've got signed who's never been on TV. Sadie. Is she in America or is she in the UK?
Yeah, she was on some of the shows in Georgia in the crowd.
Was she? All right, okay.
In the crowd.
I didn't see like okay.
Yeah.
Why aren't they using her?
Because she's training.
Oh right, okay. So she's like effectively like in the performance center or like
she's actually
you know what I mean, like just but I thought she was pretty good when I saw her.
Actually really good. Like I just think that they're enhancing some of her stuff because like on AEW Dark it was times like where they would have to like cut some of her matches, like not cut her matches, but I mean like edit them heavily.
Okay.
Like I mean everybody made mistakes, but like it was something like in her, so I'm pretty sure they just probably just want her to improve and then probably want to find something effective for her to do or probably come up with a new character for her or something like that so people could be interested. So
we on Being the Elite, they are promoting heavily FTR. When do we see the revival FTR?
At Double or Nothing.
You reckon? Attacking the Young Bucks?
After the Elite loses the stadium match.
So what do you think that is going to be?
They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight in the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. That's what it is.
Right. So is the whole show there?
I believe so. I think that's
okay. So that makes more sense to me. So I was thinking that the show was going to be somewhere else, and they were going to pre-record that, in the stadium. But it makes sense to use a big stadium for the show, and then there's no fans there anyway. So
yeah, I think once the Elite loses that match, then they'll probably like bring it to the ring again somehow, and that's what we're gonna see.
Do you think they'll cost the match, or do you think they'll attack after?
What's his name? Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. Yeah, they need to just shorten that. Just keep it Dax and Cash, like just please. But I think they're gonna the Inner Circle is probably just gonna win it straight up, and then when you think it can't get any worse for the Elite, here comes the revival. Yeah, and then there we go. Perfect.
I tell you what, as sparse as the WWE tag team division is, as we talked about, the AEW tag team division is what the WWE's women's division is. It is just jam packed with amazing tag teams. Not even just like good tag teams, like real top tag teams. You've got Best Friends, Proud and Powerful, Kenny Omega and Hangman. There's just,
Slash Matt Hardy.
Yeah, and slash Matt Hardy. So many. And like I forgot how many amazing tag matches they've had, like legit, like real awesome tag team matches.
What was it? Best Friends versus Kip Sabian and who was it? It was at the Norcross Tables in Jordan, bro. That match was so good. I cannot remember what it was, but they had I know it was like a hardcore match. Like that was a real good match. But yeah, AEW does have a real solid tag team division, and I think just adding the Revolt to that is only gonna make it better. But I mean, they kind of like tried to like say that they weren't looking for some long term right now. I think that's BS. I think they just trying to like keep the attention away from the fact that they might debut at Double or Nothing. So
Yeah.
I want to see, like, I think everybody want to see everybody wants to see the Bucks versus the Revival match. They've been bigging it up for like 2 years, so let's see if it's going to live up to the hype.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would have liked to have seen them do is do an NWA run, but I think I would have preferred that if there was fans, and there's no fans in the shows, so it makes sense.
When I interviewed Aldis, he said he'd love to have them too.
They'd just be a perfect, even if it was just for like a short run, couple of title shots or something. I think that could be amazing. Tag team wrestling is just entertaining. It's different. I love it, and I'm glad that AEW is keeping the tradition alive while WWE is trying to kill it. Okay, so that's your kind of your Money in the Bank talk, your wrestling week talk, your Andrew Thompson interviews talk. We'll be back next week. Next week, we're going to be talking Royal Rumble 2002. Three. Sorry, I watched the wrong one. 2003. We'll be talking Royal Rumble 2003. So we'll be doing that. We'll be going through the pay-per-views and some 2003 stuff. Just when there's no pay-per-views for us to cover. When there's pay-per-views for us to cover, we'll have a week off from the retro stuff. And
we'll also be doing Double or Nothing preview.
Of course, we'll be doing Double or Nothing preview. We'll be talking, doing our weekly roundup. And you can find Andrew on Twitter at ADT Thompson __. Why do you have the 2 underscores on the end? I've always wondered.
Because somebody else has A.D. Thompson.
How dare they?
Disrespectful.
Rude. You could also please subscribe to Andrew Thompson's YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Andrew Thompson interviews. And as you will see, it is just about to scroll across the bottom of the screen there. Andrew Thompson interviews.
Oh, that's cool.
Subscribe, check it out. Some amazing interviews on there, and I urge you all to check them out because they're good shit, pal. For real. And then you can also drop a thumbs up and a like on this video. As the screen says, do as you're told. Drop a thumbs up, drop a comment, share, tell the people that Keeping It Real Wrestling Podcast is the place to be. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you enjoy about the show. And also watch Royal Rumble 2003 this week and come join us for the retro review. Subscribe to youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation. You can check all the audio versions of all the shows.
I'm an Andy Campbell Show fan. Just letting everybody know that now.
Damn straight. Andy Campbell Show live every Monday, 7:30 British time, which I think is about 3:30.
Oh, you said what time? British time?
What time do we start today? Your time? 3.
No, 2.
2. So yeah, it's 2:30 Eastern. It starts every Monday, 2:30 Eastern, 7:30 Greenwich Mean Time. And we have a lot of fun. We got ex-Manchester United midfielder and defender Clayton Blackmore joining us on Monday for a chit chat. It's always a good time. Last week did about 6,000 views. So yeah, very, very excited about that. Growing all the time, and got some very, very exciting opportunities going on behind the scenes. Being contacted by some very interesting people, not just for this series, but for some of the other series. Big things happening. So I thank you all for listening. Thank you all for the support. Thank you all for watching. And you keep doing you, and we'll keep doing us. I appreciate you all. Mr. Thompson, I appreciate you even more. Thank you, sir.